Well, hi, Ty. Come on in.
Good to see you.
And
This is
what's up?
This is my friend Phil. He's my
Nice to meet you.
longtime high school buddy, and he's just now wanting to get into hunting. He just took his hunter safety course, and he just got his license, his hunting license. And so I wanted to introduce him to you, to have you teach him everything you know about hunting.
You mean upland bird hunting, right?
Upland bird hunting, yes. Proper fit of shotguns, clothing, chokes, patterning, dog work, length of pull on your shotgun, all the important things so that he can get the right start on hunting.
Okay, well, Phil, I killed my first pheasant in 1948 on the hills overlooking the Ellensburg Valley in eastern Washington. So I've got a couple of years experience, and I've learned a lot of things the hard way, okay? So yes, I happen to have a pretty full gun safe. Well, let me get my coat because it's a little cool in the garage, and you know me, I'm a wimp about getting cool.
Oh, Dan, you were in the Army. You're definitely not a wimp.
Okay.
Hey, Mal and Dan.
Yeah.
Are these some of the birds that you hunted?
Yeah, they are. You know, and I had these mounted by another taxidermist. I can't do it, the taxidermy work anymore since I had my neck surgery. But these are what we call wall hangers. And like the one on the left, that male, I wanted it mounted because it was such a pale color. And they come in different colors. The one on the right was an exceptionally fine shot I made at 40 yards. And now the two dark birds up above are hens. Now on public land, we don't shoot hens. They're protected. But on the clubs, they raise the birds for the market. We're the market. Right. So we have to kill them. And then these two birds over here, those are chuckers. And those are out of Southeast Asia, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, India, all the crazy country. And they are a blast to hunt. So let's go out the garage and I'll start showing you about the guns.
Oh, it sounds good.
Well, Phil, I'll tell you, grab a stool there because we're going to talk about the laws that you have to know about now before you go down and buy your gun. And I don't know how much they told you in hunter safety. Now you have to have a gun safe, and my gun safes are right here. But the things you want to check, make sure that they are totally fire safe, that they're good to, say, at least 800 degrees, okay? The other laws in California that are, okay, now to buy any gun in California, you have to have your hunting license. So when you go down to pick your gun up, make sure you've got your hunting license with you, okay? Or before you buy it, because they have to have that on the paperwork. And I'll go down with you to Old West, that's where I buy my guns. Okay. And when you decide what you want, and I might get you a little better deal. I buy a lot of guns down there.
That'd be good.
And as we're going through the guns, I'll explain all these functions to you because they're very important. If somebody's going to hand me a gun and I'm not familiar with it, I'll say, hey, how does this work? Does it have that? Does it have this? And this is important. Now, one of the things I want you to set in your mind, gun safety keeps you alive in the field, and gun safety should become your life. Every time you take a gun out of the safe, I mean, okay, hey, I just came in from hunting. I know the gun is unloaded before I put it in the safe. When I go to bring it out, I still make sure it's unloaded. I had a case, I had some people in here, and one of the guys put a shell back into my gun, which I didn't know. But when I pulled that gun out 10 days later, and there was a shell in there, I went through the ceiling. And there's little things about gun safety. Always have your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. I had a brand new semi-automatic 20 gauge, and my friends came down from Lookout, and they always like to see the guns I've got. So I pulled it out of the safe, I cleared the action 4 times, and then Jim picked up the gun, and Jim was like me. It's just automatic. Yeah, I just saw Dan do it. He still did it. That gun went around to 5 people. Then I sat here and I worked the action maybe 6 or 7 times. I went, now, you never leave a gun cocked empty when you put it away because you'll weaken the spring. I pulled the trigger, and if you look over there, you'll see a hole in my ceiling. Here again, gun safety, muzzles pointed in a safe direction, and I laugh about it now. But you should have seen 5 people hitting the deck. You know, and anyone that tells you I've never had a gun discharge accidentally has either been lucky or they're a liar. I've had 5 guns, at least 5 I can think of that malfunctioned, that discharged when they weren't supposed to. And here again, gun safety keeps me alive in the field. Gun safety is my life. I had the muzzles pointed in a safe direction each time. I had a brand new side-by-side shotgun, took it out of the box. I didn't take it out and test pattern it, went up on a hunt and put 2 shells in it, closed it, and as I closed it, it discharged. Scared me. So of course I reloaded it and made sure the safety was on. It didn't happen again. Probably the 4th bird that I shot that day, safety is on, went to close it, discharged. So that is extremely important. Keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction all times.
Okay.
I hear you repeating that all the time when you say, gun safety keeps me alive in the field and gun safety is my life. And I like it that you repeat it over and over and over and over, and it gets drilled into your head, my head, anybody else's head, new hunter's head. And it's one of those safety things that you just will remember it because you hear it so many times.
Well, you know, you've known me, what now, just about a year. And I've been saying that all along. And okay, part of that, yes, I'm ex-military, I'm a veteran, and I used to teach marksmanship. Mm-hmm. I have been on the line, and I've had, now this is back in the old days, I'm a dinosaur. We shot M1 Grands. Twice I've been on the line when the gun discharged when it was supposed to. And so I'm very cognizant of that fact. Okay, I had one right here in my garage. I had another case where I would load the magazine on my deer rifle, not the chamber, just the magazine. And my dad went in, he's going to show it to this guy. Well, he threw the bolt, he didn't look. Closed the bolt, pulled the trigger, put a hole through the ceiling. And so that's another thing. You don't just work the action, you look at the action, and I'm going to show you on each one of these guns. And it's extremely important. I've had cases with the 1911, the 45 that I packed in the service. Man, worked that action 4 or 5 times, and then close it, and pointed up, pulled the trigger, and there was a round that was stuck in. So now I stick a finger up the chamber. Okay? But gun safety, I don't care whether you're a hunter or a target shooter. It's got to be your primary thought all times. There are several places you can go. Right now, Sportsman's Warehouse has the best deal in Reading on safes.
Okay.
So after we pick the kind of gun you want, you go down and buy the safe. Because when you go in to do the paperwork, you have to fill this sheet out that says you have a gun safe and what kind.
Wow.
Or they can't give you the gun.
Okay.
Okay. I hope that I pretty well covered it. Now, this table I've got here, this is where I clean my birds, I clean my guns, and quite a few other things. So sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there, but it's always right here. And I think it's an extremely good idea to have a table by where you're going to be handling your guns so you can lay them down. Another thing, never lean a gun up on the fender of your car. Why?
Because it's not safe?
You can fall down and trigger off. Now, I've had a couple of other things happen. As we go through this, and I may be redundant, but it's important. Always make sure your safety is engaged before you load your gun. Keep your safety engaged and your finger off of the trigger until you're ready to shoot. And I'll go through this as we handle each gun. And some of the other things, like because I've had this neck surgery, I have to unload my gun and lay it on the ground before I take the bird from the dog. And so again, I'll show you on that. I had a case where the guy he had a pump action shotgun. He laid it down here. He went over here 10 feet to get the bird from his dog. His dog ran back and hit the trigger with his finger and the gun discharged. I know this sounds weird, but these things happen.
Well, I like what you always harp on about talking about safety and gun safety and making sure that you're safe as well as everybody around you is safe. And that keeps you, that keeps discipline, and you just know you can have an enjoyable experience without worrying about safety issues being violated and somebody waving a gun the wrong way that's loaded, and you're always on top of that. And I think that's what makes you stand out as a hunter, is that you make sure everybody around you is observing proper safety rules.
Thank you, Ty. And I'm very selective about who goes in the field with me. And I'll even have them come up here with an empty gun and go in my field with my dog, and I'll watch. Now, here's another thing. Muzzle always up. Why?
Because it's in a safe direction?
You betcha, because there's something up there but God. That's what my dad used to say. I've walked in, been in the park, and watched a guy walking out of the field waving his gun like this. I want to dig a foxhole and duck, and I'll jump him. Okay? I am selective about who hunts with me, and before you go hunting with me, I assume you want to go hunting with me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would definitely want to go hunting with you.
Absolutely, he wants to go. Yeah. He's excited.
And you've heard about the dogs, or have you seen any of the footage on them?
A little bit. I've seen some of the videos.
Anyway, I'm going to show you all the functions. Now, the most popular shotgun, and it's because it's the least costly of them, is the pump shotgun. Okay? And then the semi-auto, and then the snobs shoot the over and unders or the side-by-sides. Now, I only know one man that shoots the side-by-side, and I don't have one like this. He has a double trigger, and that gun is 97 years old. Oh, wow. Okay, and it's been well maintained, and we'll go in about the maintenance on the gun. And here's another thing. I've had people say, well, you check your gun when you get the field. No. First thing I do when I come home is I make sure the gun's unloaded, I clean it, I put it away. When I'm getting ready to go, I check the gun and make sure it's functioning the way I want it before I put it in. We'll talk about gun safes, gun carriers. So that when I'm ready to go in the field, all I got to do is put the shells in my pocket, make sure I got my whistle. Oh, here's something else. You always wear hearing protection, and we'll go into that later. And you need to wear eye protection. So get yourself a good pair of safety glasses. I've never had a gun blow back, but that's not saying that they won't.
So like you were saying, gun safety starts here at your house. From the moment you take that shotgun out of your safe, and you check it, you double check, make sure that it's unloaded, and then that gun safety carries from when you take it out of your safe, then to the hunting area while you're hunting, then when you're after hunting, you make sure everything's unloaded, still observing proper gun safety procedures, and then it follows you all the way back to putting the gun in the safe, and then that cycle starts all the way over again when you open the safe to go hunting.
Now you've been with me a lot, so you've been here when I'm putting the guns away. And you'll notice that I always make sure they're empty, and then I trigger them to release that spring. Well, now you want to take a look at a gun. Now I'm going to start with a pump action shotgun. And I'll go over here and unlock my safe. Now, normally, as soon as I pull it out of the gun, I break the action open. But, and the reason I'm doing it this way now, This is a pump. So to break it open, this lever right here, because it's caught, okay? You come down. Always make sure that the safety is on before you close the chamber, okay? And remember, safeties are mechanical, they can break or fail. Okay, so I'm giving you a gun, I've got the action open.
Okay, checking the safety.
Right? Close it now. No, just pull up on the pump. There you go. Now this right here, this is your pump release. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
You push on that.
Right. Now that's so you can unload it without shooting it, without discharging the round in it.
Okay.
Okay, now let's check it for length of pull. Put the butt right here in your elbow on your right hand and reach your hand up. That gun fits you. This part of your finger here should be right at the trigger.
Okay.
And we'll do this on each one of the guns. Now, most shotguns come out of the factory with a 14.5-inch pull, okay? They may vary a 1/4 inch. But the first thing you want to do when you're going to pick a gun is check that length of pull.
Okay.
Because now you can either cut the stock down or you can put a thicker pad on it. Okay, now you go ahead, stand up and try to shoulder that gun and see how it fits, how it feels. Right there. Now close the action.
Okay.
There you go. See, now you feel the difference when you got the action open and you got the action closed, right?
Right.
Okay. Now the pump shotgun, because they're usually a little less money to buy them, is one of the most popular ones you see in the field. Frankly, I'm not comfortable with a pump. I have, for some reason, the fore end is too far out and I have to reach out and I'm just not comfortable with it.
Okay.
So was that comfortable for you?
No, it's really comfortable for me.
Okay.
And I've shot something like this. I've shot a Remington 870.
Okay. And of course, this is a Weatherby, but that's okay.
Right.
So now I want to clear the gun. And since I'm getting the other guns out, this is why I like my table. Because now I can leave it here and then I don't have to trip getting the next gun out.
Right.
That's right.
So the next gun is a semi-automatic. I'm sorry, but gun safety keeps me alive. And whenever I pull the gun out of the safe, I always make sure the chamber is open. Now this has a sling, and you'll see it on very few of my shotguns. A lot of guys are hunting over a pointer, so they will sling their gun on their shoulder. It's easier to carry, and I'll show you the different carries.
Okay.
And they don't even get their gun off their shoulder until their dog's on point. Now, this is your magazine relief, this button right here.
Okay.
Okay? And this is your safety. And this is a magazine cutoff right here. And that means that you can unload the live round from your chamber and your gun will lock open.
Okay.
And whenever you're going to lay the gun down on the ground, do that. Or put it in your car, okay?
Okay.
So, take a look at it.
And this is the semi-automatic.
This is a semi-automatic. Not a fully automatic, it's not a machine gun.
But a semi-automatic.
Right.
And so, this button right here is what? Well,
that closes your action.
Okay. So it'd be ready to fire.
Right.
Then, in order to lock it.
There you go. You're a quick learner. And you know, some guns have a magazine cut off, some semis have. Yeah. Now you see, that's a little better for you because you got more finger on the trigger. I mean, more finger on the trigger.
So it's that first joint of your trigger finger that wants to get equal with the trigger.
Yeah, that's your maximum pull.
Length of pull. Yeah.
Right. Actually, I like mine right about there. Okay.
Right,
Now
so
go ahead and stand up and shoulder it. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels great. I like this.
Now, after I get all of these out of here, then I'm going to teach you about choke.
Okay.
About proper shot size and everything else. And then we're going to go through the gauges.